Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the SmackDown report for the 9th of October 2020. It was a draft show, so I guess there's notable stuff, but at the same time, there wasn't anything that made me go, I have to watch WWE now more seriously. I have to watch this product in a way that I wasn't before. Um, I mean, they did some things. We'll wait for Monday. I saw some people that were quite frustrating who basically said they didn't do enough tonight. And my first reaction was, well, they have Monday too. So don't pass judgment on the draft until Monday is over. Anyway, so Michael Cole and Corey Graves talk about some of the draft participants. The first round of the draft is done by Stephanie McMahon. I'm not a fan of her being the one to do the draft. I almost wish maybe Adam Pearce had done it. Maybe they bring someone like an agent or something else as a representative of corporate, or just use an acting extra. The Stephanie McMahon thing makes it seem too hokey. Anyway, so Raw gets Drew McIntyre, Asuka, and the Hurt Business. SmackDown gets Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Rollins coming to SmackDown had me excited until later in the show. Just because I think it'll give him something new to do. Anyway, my issue is when Ray comes over later to SmackDown too. That means they're continuing that feud, and I think it's played out. Now, I love the Dominic thing, but I think they could have done Dominic and Aaliyah and left Ray out of it. I think that would have been a better move. Critics of that thought will say that no one will care about those characters without Ray, and I disagree with the way they've been built thus far. Anyway, Kayla Braxton interviews Seth Rollins. She notes that he's no longer Monday Night Messiah because he's going to Friday SmackDown. He says he's excited, and at least he doesn't have to see the Mysterios anymore. Then we go to a street fight with Sheamus and Big E. I swear this is a response to the dog collar match. Not necessarily that they had the match, but just how intense it got. It was good for what it was. Good mini blow off to the feud and whatnot. Sheamus has an advantage early. They brawl around ringside. Big E pulls out some bootios, and then they go in front of the announcer's table. Sheamus uses a kendo stick, and Sheamus finds some tape under the ring among other weapons, and Big E takes Sheamus's legs together and beats him with the kendo stick. This was a cool spot back from the break, and Big E is in control. Sheamus picked up a computer screen to smash over Big E's head. Big E recovers and hits him with a broom. They use a trash can. The broom thing is pretty intense. They actually broke the broom, which for a moment it looked like Big E was surprised by his own force. I think that was just a good facial, but it looked pretty cool. Anyway, he picks up a trash can lid, nails Sheamus with it. Big E knocks Sheamus through a door in the parking lot of the arena they're using. And Big E continues to beat Sheamus around the parking lot, and Sheamus uses a tire iron. He regains control. Sheamus hits White Noise on the windshield of the car, but then scores a near fall. He slams a car door on Big E. Sheamus attempts the Brogue Kick, and Big E moves. Sheamus kicks the truck door off. It tinges. Big E makes a comeback, slams Sheamus into the truck, or actually a trunk of a car, and Big E gave Sheamus the big ending off the vehicle through 2 tables. We come back from the break. Kayla Braxton interviews Big E. She makes a big deal that he has been through a big match. Kofi Kingston returns, and then Xavier Wood returns. New Day celebrates being back together, and they note that the tag titles are missing from this. Jey Uso comes out. He demands Roman Reigns come out. He wants to know the stipulation for Hell in a Cell. He isn't surprised when Reigns doesn't come out. Paul Heyman interrupts. Basically says this is on Reigns' time, not Uso's. Heyman praises Reigns and shows a video package. The Hell in a Cell match is eventually revealed to be an I Quit match. I do not like this. I Quit match could have been another match in another layer in their feud if they wanted to go that way. They could have done that before Hell in a Cell. I think it's too much. I think it's gimmickry for the sake of gimmickry. Anyway, draft round 2, Stephanie McMahon back out. Raw gets AJ Styles, Naomi, Women's Tag Champs, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax. SmackDown gets Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. I mean, I like the Sasha Banks thing because it puts her and Bayley on the same brand, which their feud will pay off. The AJ Styles thing could be good if they were, serious about maybe doing something with AJ over the next little while. Maybe AJ and Drew McIntyre could be good. Naomi, I don't really care either way because she's been an afterthought for so long. So Styles does an interview from home, says he should have been a first-round pick. He's happy he doesn't have to be around Zayn and Hardy anymore. Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy, there we go, defeat Miz and Morrison. Not a bad match. Michael Cole points out that Riddle and Hardy agreed to be partners after talking on Twitter. I hate when they do this. Like, your angles for your television show on international television should not take place on social media. If you want to maybe admit that, people are talking about things on social media, that's fine. But your superstar shouldn't be so attention-seeking that they're looking to form angles on the internet. Anyway, the good guys have the early advantage. They go nuts on the heels. Hardy does the poetry in motion off Riddle's back, and Riddle jumps off Hardy's back and hits a dive onto the bad guys at ringside. Back from the break, the heels are in control. Morrison hits a standing shooting star press for near fall. Riddle gets a hot tag, and then he hits a Broton and a German suplex on Miz for near fall of his own. Hardy hits Twist of Fate on Morrison. Miz throws Hardy out of the ring. Riddle catches Miz with a knee and the Bro Derek for the win. I actually think this could be a really interesting way to get Matt Riddle over. And then I could see a heel turn, I don't know, maybe in time for Mania, maybe in time for SummerSlam. Like, ride with it as long as you can. And then Hardy turns heel on Matt Riddle as the new big thing. They won't do it, but I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, Lars Sullivan comes back. He marches down to the ring, beats Hardy and Riddle. Hardy and Riddle get no offense, and then he beats down Miz and Morrison. I guess he's going to be a loner who goes after everybody. Anyway, draft round 3. Lars Sullivan joins Raw. Draft pool on Monday. Raw gets Ricochet, Mandy Rose, and the Miz and John Morrison. SmackDown gets Jey Uso and Dominic Mysterio. Rey and Dominic going to SmackDown is a big thing, I guess. SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha and Bailey. They don't really do much of a match. It's more of a setup for a larger match, presumably at the pay-per-view. I'm sorry, my breathing isn't liking me today. Anyway, so despite the finish, they kind of do a blow off. They do the best they can. Cole notes that Eddie Guerrero is one of Sasha Banks' heroes, and today would have been his 53rd birthday. Cole points out that Bailey brings a chair that she used to interview Banks, or injure Banks rather. So, I mean, they basically do Banks jumping Bailey at the bell. Banks attempts the Banks statement. Bailey rolls out. Banks ends up on Bailey's shoulders, but rolls into an arm drag. Banks applies the Banks statement. Bailey gets to the ropes. Bailey grabs a chair and hits Banks for the disqualification. Post-match, the beatdown continues. Banks hits Bailey and puts the head in the chair. She's stomping it. Bailey runs away. Kevin Owens is backstage. He's getting ready for his match with The Fiend. And Alexa Bliss appears. She tells Owens to let him in. New Day defeats Cesaro and Nakamura to win the SmackDown tag titles. Kingston Woods return feels good, but they could have hyped it more. I think that was a way you could have popped a rating with that. The match is good, and then Woods starts the match against Cesaro. Woods had been out of action for nearly a year with an injury. Woods fight back and nails Cesaro with several shots. Back from the break, heels are in control. And DDT from the ropes on Nakamura for a near fall. Kingston gets a hot tag and gives Cesaro a hip toss from the apron to the floor. Kingston hits a DDT off the ropes to the floor. Well, they like going to the floor today a lot, I guess. Kingston attempts to dive. Cesaro catches him. Hits a giant swing. Nakamura tries the Kinshasa, but gets in trouble instead. Hits Trouble in Paradise on Cesaro. Does Kingston. Nakamura attempts a reverse exploded suplex, but he hits an SOS for the finish on Nakamura, and Woods hits an elbow drop off the top rope for the win. Round 4 of the draft, SmackDown Tag Champs New Day, Kofi, Xavier, and go to Raw. Dana Brooke stays on Raw, and Angel Garza stays on Raw. SmackDown gets Big E and Otis. Obviously, big story is the splitting up of the New Day. Big E stays on SmackDown, which I hope means a Big E Roman Reigns feud is in the future. All the guys on New Day are upset by this. Woods and Kingston are taking the tag titles with them to Raw. Who knows what that means? Maybe the Street Profits go to SmackDown, which could be interesting. Otis and Tucker go over the legal terms of the court case and Miz and Morrison. Otis points out that he got drafted to SmackDown. Tucker won't be part of the draft. Tucker doesn't want to worry about that right now. He hopes Miz drops the lawsuit because he's going to Raw. Otis gets another letter, says they're delaying the court case. They recap the Sasha and Bailey match from earlier. Banks calls Bailey a coward, challenges her to Hell in a Cell at the next pay-per-view. Banks promises to win the SmackDown tag title, or SmackDown women's title, rather. It's the only thing that matters to her. That's the belief that Sasha has. The Fiend defeats Kevin Owens. Not the best match. Underselling by the Fiend, and Owens gets an early advantage and takes over. Fiend does take over quickly. Owens tries a super kick. Fiend catches the leg and slams Owens right on his face. Fiend catches Owens with a headbutt. Owens comes off the ropes. It's not that big a deal, but it is here. Needless to say, this is, not the best of situations. Bottom line, Fiend ends up getting over on this. It's ugly, it's awkward, and it's a match that, if they're going further with the feud, very few people are going to care. Anyway, that's SmackDown for last night. Not bad for the draft, but again, it's nothing that makes me want to go out of my way to watch. So, we'll be back with more action right after this.